The PlayStation Store's Critics' Choice sale is still going on, and I want to take a look at 10 awesome deals available right now. If you haven't been keeping up with our coverage of the sale, we already did a video taking a look at some great deals on open world games as well as deals under $10. Now with this video, we're still only looking at the Critics' Choice sale. The PlayStation Store is also running a really good Bandai Namco sale right now, and I'm sure at some point we'll look at that as well. But for now, we're still taking a look at the Critics' Choice sale, and there's still a lot of time for you to take advantage of these deals as it's gonna persist until March 1st. So again, you've got quite a bit of time. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and I want to kick things off with one of the best RPGs that made its transition to PlayStation 4 last year in Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. Now this game was first released on PC and it was received incredibly well, many saying that it was the best PC RPG of all time. At the very least, you thought it was one of the best, and it made its way over to the PS4, and much like the first Original Sin, it made a very smooth transition over to the PS4. The content's all there. Visually, it looks pretty good. Now obviously, presentation wise, it is a little bit different than your typical big budget PS4 RPG, but still visually I would say it's very good. The story is top notch. There's a lot of replay value with all of the different characters you can play as, the customizability, and if you want to play the game with a couple of friends, that's probably how you're going to get the best experience. 40% off for $36, again a pretty steep price point, but I would say it's well worth it for Divinity Original Sin 2. There's a reason why so many consider it to be one of the best RPGs of all time. Moving on from that, we have Battlefield 5 at its lowest price ever. It is 60% off for $24. Now I know that Battlefield 5 has had quite a rocky reception, especially ahead of its release with how EA was promoting the game. It was quite a train wreck, but Battlefield 5 fundamentally is actually a pretty good Battlefield title. They've stayed committed to it. They've released update. There's more content coming to it, and now that you can get it for $24, I would say it's a no-brainer, especially if you're a fan of Battlefield. At this point, there's no reason why you should be paying $60 for the game. It went on sale very quickly after being released, and now that it's available for even cheaper, $24 is a pretty ridiculous price given the fact that this game isn't even over 3 months old. It released back in November, so to get it for this kind of price, you've got a quality single-player campaign in there. The multiplayer is pretty good. Battle Royale is, of course, coming to it, although I don't know how well that's going to resonate, but we shall see. Battlefield 5 for $24, of course, I would say that's a good pickup. Moving on from that, we have Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reloaded, 30% off for $28, so quite a steep price point for this still, considering the fact it did release all the way back in March of 2017, so we're approaching 2 years old on this game. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know how highly I think of the Danganronpa games. I think they are tremendous. They're visual novels with extremely intricate storytelling, and there's an incredible amount of attention to detail to the story. Now, me explaining the premise of the story, it's gonna make it sound really stupid, but I'll do my best. Essentially, you play as a high school student. You're locked into a high school with a bunch of other students, and you're forced to play this death game. The first person to kill someone without getting caught escapes the world. Now, it's not like a game that you control the outcome and do the killing. No, the story plays out how it plays out. You just do the investigation, you let the story play out, and it is a phenomenal story. Great to get started with Danganronpa 1 and 2, but Danganronpa 3 is also out right now. That game is on sale, but it's still at a hefty price point. I believe that's $42 on sale. There will be a Danganronpa Trilogy release that includes 1, 2, and 3, and I do believe that'll be $60, so you might want to wait on that. However, if you do want to jump in with 1 and 2, $28 for both those games isn't bad. Moving on from that, and this is a very interesting discount because based on my recollection, Banner Saga Trilogy has actually had its MSRP increased. If I'm correct, this game released at $39.99, but quietly the price has risen to $49.99. Now, I might be wrong about that, but I know for a fact that the physical version of the Banner Saga Trilogy was released at $40. I do assume that the digital version was released at $40 as well, but now it's listed at $50, so that's a little bit odd. It is discounted 40% to $29.99. Again, you know how highly I think of the Banner Saga games. If you've been following this channel, just find the price alteration a little funny. $30, however, does get you all 3 of the Banner Saga games, and this is a series that you want to play game to game. You want to play Banner Saga 1, then 2, then 3. Don't just jump into Banner Saga 3. Banner Saga has a great story. It's got a great art style. It's a Viking-themed tactical RPG. I just thought it would be a much more popular franchise than it is. Unfortunately, it does seem to have slipped through the cracks a little bit. However, if you've yet to check out Banner Saga, do give the trilogy a look. $30 is a little bit pricey, but you do get 3 games. Next up, we have Uncharted Uncharted The Lost Legacy. That is 30% off for $14. Would say that's a pretty good deal for Uncharted The Lost Legacy. This is a standalone expansion to Uncharted 4. Follows a lot of the fundamental gameplay aspects. However, from a story standpoint, of course, you're not playing as series standout Nathan Drake anymore. The game rather stars Chloe Frazer as well as Nadine Ross, two integral characters of the Uncharted franchise, and it's a nice spin on your typical Uncharted fare. However, from a fundamental gameplay standpoint, a lot has been retained here. But hey, you know what they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it, and that's what we have with Uncharted The Lost Legacy. It is relatively short in length. You can complete it in around 6 hours, but if you want more Uncharted, The Lost Legacy is definitely going to offer you that. So I'd give it a look, especially at the price of $14. Moving on from that, here's an open world game I didn't mention in our open world coverage video, and that is Sniper Elite 4. It is 70% off for $17.99. Now, Sniper Elite is another franchise that I thought would be a lot more popular than it is. A franchise that's in an open world, it's centered around a sniper, and sniping is the main gameplay element. Yeah, I thought that would have more mainstream success, but Sniper Elite is a franchise that definitely has its fan base, and rightfully so. The open world is visually pleasing, the gameplay is solid. Is the story anything to write home about? No, but if you're looking for a quality open world adventure, Sniper Elite 4 will definitely offer you that. Wouldn't say it's quite worth it at $59.99, but now being 70% off at $18, it's a much more palatable price point, so give it a look. Next up, we have Nioh the Complete Edition. It is 50% off for $24.99. Not only does this include the base Nioh game, but it also includes 3 add-ons: Dragon of the North, Defiant Honor, and Bloodshed's End. Nioh, of course, to most of you guys that haven't played it, you probably have heard that it's been compared to the Souls games, and those comparisons are definitely apt. However, Nioh does have its own flair, having a different setting, having a story that's more in your face, and it's an intense action RPG set in the bloody Sengoku era of Japan, combining real-life historical events with dark fantasy and folklore. You face off against bloodthirsty warlords and otherworldly demons. You have a vast array of different weapon, magic, and ninjutsu to defy death, and it's a very rewarding game, very challenging as well, but definitely would give it a recommendation. Of course, Nioh 2 is in development right now, so now wouldn't be a bad time to check out Nioh the Complete Edition. Again, at 50% off for $25, still kind of a high price point, but you do get the game, you get 3 add-ons, and that's a lot of content for your money. Moving on from that, we have Doom, which is 30% off for $13.99. This was a tremendous game released all the way back in 2016. Now, you are primarily just getting a single-player experience here, and as a Doom game, you might be expecting a quality multiplayer component, but Doom really stands out with its stellar single-player action. Yes, there's a multiplayer there, but the single-player is really where Doom shines. It's fast-paced, it's visceral, it's gory, and it's got a relatively decent amount of content. You're looking at an 8 to 10 hour experience if you're a decent player, and for that 8 to 10 hours, you get a lot of quality as well. Now that it's down to $14, already a PlayStation Hits title, so the standard price is $19.99, but even cheaper than that, that's a great buy. By the way, this is a game with a free demo available, so if you're not completely sold on me talking about the game, check out the free demo for yourself, and then you'll probably want to pick up the game. Moving on from that, here's one of the best deals in terms of value and pure hours out of your dollar. That is Diablo 3 The Eternal Collection. It is 67% off for $19.79. I've talked about Diablo 3 quite a bit on this channel, but with the Eternal Collection, you get the base game, you get the Reaper of Souls expansion, and you're getting an experience that you can drop hundreds, if not thousands of hours on. That is not hyperbole. There's always something to do in Diablo 3. There's always reason to go back and play through the game multiple times, and if you're playing with a couple of friends, the replayability in this game is just absolutely ridiculous. And for $19.79, the quality of a game that you get, the longevity of a game that you get out of Diablo 3, it is absolutely worth it. And this is a game that, yes, it started out as a PC experience, but it has just made such a smooth transition over to the PlayStation 4. I would go as far as to say even better so than Divinity Original Sin 2. Yes, that game is great, but Diablo 3 feels right at home on the PlayStation 4, and for $19.79 to get the Eternal Collection, of course, that's an easy recommendation. And lastly, we have Guacamelee 2. That is 40% off for $11.99. I really dig Guacamelee. It's a game that's not to be taken all too seriously, but it's a Metroidvania adventure with a great art style. You play as the luchador Juan, and he's out of retirement for a stunning Metroidvania adventure. You explore a huge handcrafted world inspired by Mexican culture and folklore, filled with sassy villains and weirdos. You'll learn bone-crushing wrestling moves to fend off skeletal hordes and overcome skillful platforming challenges. If you like Metroidvania games, you'll dig Guacamelee 2. This is a pretty recent release as well, coming back in August August of 2018. Released at $19.99, but now you can get it 40% off for $11.99, so a pretty good buy here. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, this Critics' Choice sale has a ton of great deals, and not to mention, outside of this Critics' Choice sale, the Bandai Namco sale is running right now as well, so many terrific deals available on the PlayStation Store. We'll be sure to make another video taking a look at some cheaper offerings. If you guys are interested, let us know in the comment section down below. But that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.